What's up, everyone? Welcome back to this RWBY discussion. This time, Volume 8, Episode 5, Amity. As always, I'm Connor. With us, we have Zach.
Hello.
Mike. Go again, Mike.
Wow.
You.
And Travis.
Every time, man. I don't understand.
So, how did you all feel about this episode? First impressions, first thoughts, anything you want to get out of the way?
Best
Fucking
episode of the season so far.
Alright, so that's
Shit.
Mike's stance.
Shit was crazy. It was insane. I would agree. Probably my favorite episode of all time.
How about you, Trev?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really good, and it made me want to keep watching. I was like, "Oh, that's the end." Shit.
I don't think I like this episode.
Well, no one cares about your opinion. Remember what we just talked about?
All right, so like at all, or like
So,
your average opinion is
The
slightly
first,
above?
if I could divide the episode up into two halves, the first half being the fight, and the second half being the more plot progression, I enjoyed the plot progression a lot, but I was bored during the first half of the episode, and nothing. I hated. I think I disliked the fight. It might be the first fight that I've actually hated, for reasons that are beyond just choreography.
Did you watch my react?
Yeah.
During the fight scene, I'm literally like showing the camera. I'm like, I got goosebumps. This is so good.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, Zach. You and I have very different opinions here.
I thought it was a fantastic fight. We'll get into it.
Yeah. So the episode starts. We're following Penny, Pietro, and Maria. Penny is setting up the bomb in typical, cyborg fashion. So first issue right there. Why? Why does this matter?
Yeah, I didn't really get that either. Like, what was the deal with the bomb? Because unless it's given Amity Tower some sort of thrust, like more of a thrust, and that's what they're calculating on. But I don't. It doesn't really explain that.
Yeah, Pietro says we have to trigger the dust to be able to get into the air, but I don't understand why that should be even close to relevant. And I don't understand how it helps thrusters, even if it's magic thrusters. It just seems like it was like a plot point meant to be like, oh look, Ironwood is now aware of our presence here.
Yeah, I can't really say much on that just because, I just I don't understand why a dust explosion, or I guess in general an explosion, was needed when the technology exists. This is future tech. They already have thrusters on jets and ships, and I don't know. Maybe they have technology to go into space
on Penny.
I don't know.
Look at the thrusters on Penny.
Yeah,
that can't be on that on Amity. I don't.
It's so weird.
I won't say anymore.
Maybe because they need to get to a certain height, and the explosion helps propel them to that height. I don't know. Maybe Amity is just only available to sustain a certain height, and maybe one way or another, it was going to come down out of the atmosphere anyway.
One way or another, it wasn't going to come down. They cover that point that it was meant to stay in the air, but it got damaged.
Yeah. Okay.
It just feels weird to me and nonsensical.
Well, because that's never mind. Oh, well,
you can say it. You go
ahead. That's fine. I'm just gonna go on a rant. It's fine. Let's keep moving.
Okay. So we continue on, and there's a little bit of a debate that happens between them. A little father-daughter exercise. Penny wants to help Atlas and Mantle. Pietro insists that she join them. They have a whole little dialogue of their clashing ideals, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and the old lady is very much like, hey, shouldn't you just let her? Everyone's telling her what to do all the time. Shouldn't you just let her let her be her?
Yeah, but it's like he's the one person who it makes sense to be like this, though. Because RWBY is never going to be scolded by anyone by being like, no, Penny, this is what you need to do. This is who you are, blah, 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 blah. But Pietro, her father, he's the one who you aren't allowed to, who's going to get criticism for that.
Well, but at that age, that's even if she is a robot, it's an age where you can kind of get defiant with your family. So maybe they're trying to bring that out a little bit.
But it didn't feel defiant to me. It felt like she was just trying, she was trying to show her father that she's her own person. She has to do her own thing. My issue isn't with any of their dialogue. It was just the fact that this is the one time that someone gets scolded for trying to tell Penny what to do. Not Ironwood getting scolded, not RWBY. Pietro does.
There's something I have an issue with.
Okay.
On this whole thing. And it deals with, like, her even getting hurt by certain things.
Yeah.
I find so many issues with this. She's not human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do people care so much? Do you see? Like, what I'm getting at is, like, Pietro, I get it. She's your daughter. She's your creation. Much like Geppetto and Pinocchio, he feels responsible. Like, at the end of the day, she's a robot. I mean, an android technically, but, like, who cares? He technically built her. He technically controls her. Well, and
I mean, he can, but he doesn't.
Yes.
And for Pietro, it's because he views her as someone who is living. A lot of the people view Penny as someone who's just a genuine living girl. But I remember you, like, in your discussion, there comes up a point where she gets, like, affected by the cold suddenly.
Yep.
Or, like, her nerve endings. And nerve endings can make sense because, the nervous system is imperative to detecting when the body is in peril. That makes sense. But when she gets affected by the cold and that becomes an issue, don't you remember when she flew into the Maiden's little gust? And she was only able to do that because she was an android?
Yes. Where everyone else who is like a human like had to like step out because they would have froze to death.
Yeah, it literally
like Winter
froze off Winter's glove and like burned her hand because of how cold it was.
So I can't remember, when does this happen? The not in the previous episode, in this episode, when does it happen where she starts getting affected by the cold?
It's in this kind of conversation where Pietro's talking about, like, when they're having their conversation, it's like, there might be a problem if blah blah blah.
So it doesn't have anything to do with when she's given the building thrust, right?
So it's kind of with that, because his fear about her being out there too much is that the cold, as well as her overexerting herself, might blend in to be an issue.
Also, the atmosphere itself, I don't know how her system works, but if you go from the pressure itself could have an effect on it. I don't know.
I completely disagree. And I know this is exactly what we're talking about. In the end of the day, she is a motherfucking robot.
Well, I'm not saying she needs to breathe. I'm saying that
she doesn't need to breathe.
Hypothetically,
as well as
there might be other aspects. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
But my issue is, a lot of the damage she was taking was like on her outside, her skin, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have skin.
Let me ask you
a
this.
Synthetic skin.
Let me ask you this. If she's a machine, how do machines work? They move. There's wire. There's wheels. There's stuff turning inside of her, and for that stuff to work, it has to have oil. Can oil freeze eventually?
And they might not be powered by oil as well. We're in a world of magic. Everything that we're about to say here is hypothetical, and
yeah,
I think the issue that should be taken is the fact that last season it didn't matter, but this season it does.
Yeah. See, and I don't know. That was my biggest complaint with kind of all of that, was specifically just that whole thing. It's like you're an android, and I even said it in the React. I said maybe I don't truly understand how androids will operate in this world, but a robot's a robot. Now I could understand if she was being melted, but I feel like they're bringing, and it is potential. We're going to learn that when she became a maiden, she does become more human, which I completely understand if that were to be the case. My issue is the fact she's being treated as if she was human now, where in all actuality, right, a robot, if you think about anything robot that I can think of, when you get hit, the robots can keep going. Like, one that comes to mind is like the Terminator, and I'm not saying the 80s is a great example to compare to Penny, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger took some hits. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that like Penny gets like punched and she's like, "Ow!" Like, why would that hurt you? Did they build nerve endings?
And that was something
I
that would
agree.
make sense to do. Because Pietro made her to be her own person, to be a living, quote unquote, living being, to be able to emulate life perfectly. So a nervous system, nerve endings, pain is necessary for that. But I also do feel like she's an android. There are ways that you could program around it so that she's aware this is an issue without it being, ah!
And I get you, because like on one hand, she was designed to be as human as possible, but obviously he designed her in a way. I feel like after like she got destroyed the first time, like he rebuilt her in a way where she'd be able to defend herself and other people. So I see why he would be angry about that, because like she should have some mechanisms to at least nullify that a bit.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But that's all I'll say on that matter.
I think that's really all there is to say. It's kind of a thing where there should be better.
There should be explanation.
Yes.
And I'm not saying like I'm asking them to lay out the laws of androids, but there should be some sort of like Pietro going like, "Why did this hurt?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm human now or something." Like even that would satisfy it, because that brings an element of, okay, so now we're treating her as a human android combination, not just an android. And Pietro even said it himself. You were destroyed once. We saw it. I believe it was volume 3 that she was destroyed. Might have been 4.
No, it's 3.
But we've seen it. Like, she's a robot. But I feel like if she was a robot and she has the memory from previous Penny, she would remember the pain of being blown up, and I feel like that would be excruciating. I mean, that's just a rabbit hole, but I don't know.
In the
Maybe.
previous episodes before this, did she ever act like she felt pain, like before she got blown up?
Not really.
Yeah, no.
She
Okay,
felt
maybe-
sadness.
What if
like
that was
emotions.
What if that was something Pietro implemented? So maybe she would feel pain, and she would say, "Oh wait, I shouldn't do that no more."
I mean, I feel like now's not the best time to do that when Salem's on the board.
But it is a
I
valid
mean,
point.
that is
It
a possibility. I won't discount it, but anyway, I'll let you guys continue. That was a big tangent on my part.
That was fun. We'll continue on ahead. Suddenly, a wild Cinder appears.
A wild Cinder.
Dun, dun, dun,
What's up,
dun,
y'all?
dun.
Time to party.
Penny attacks her. Emerald helps with illusions. Neo fights Maria. Let's go over these fights one at a time.
Okay, I was going to say, I want to talk about Maria.
So let's start off with the one that I'm not mad at. Cinder versus Penny.
For some reason, I knew you were going to say that.
I am going to have so much rage built in coming up. So the fight really isn't much of a fight initially with Cinder versus Penny.
It's like, who's got a bigger dick?
It's
Who
not
can
even
fly
that.
faster?
It's literally Penny's flying around, running the whole time. We literally saw her 2 episodes ago fighting the full Aesop's team
Solo.
just straight up. Why is she
Yep.
running the whole fucking time? And why is she running around the fucking tower the whole fucking time?
It feels like she's aware of the situation. Like she needs to get her out of the tower, and then she realizes, oh crap, the outside of the tower is also taking damage. I need to get her away.
And maybe
So
she
she
just
went to
didn't
her-
realize it early on. Yeah, maybe that's true.
Like, she was trying to get her away from the inside, and then she got to the outside, and she was like, "Damn, she's still doing damage to the outside." And then let's get her away, and then what happens next?
Yet she does realize that. She tries to lead Cinder away, and then Cinder realizes what she's trying to do, and is like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go and destroy what you're working on then, and flies back to Pietro. Which that part, I enjoyed. This makes sense for Cinder's character. So she starts sabotaging the arena, and Penny ends up she focuses on preserving it.
Mhm.
With the ice. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the ice
that
and her
leaves her-
swords.
And that
I
leaves her
would,
wide fucking open.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's protecting Pietro, who at this point just kill him. He's a big issue.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised that Cinder didn't kill him.
I am too.
Well, I don't know why she didn't. Like, in my opinion, Pietro literally just proved he is an issue. He just proved that, like, if anything were to truly happen in this giant war that he's now a part of, I mean, shit, man, you're in a goddamn pretty much wheelchair. You're in spider chair. Like, you're kind of an issue.
Hey, stay tuned to the next episode when Pietro fights Cinder.
Well, Pietro's gonna win.
That wheelchair all of a sudden turns to the Mech 5.
Pietro don't play the loose.
So I do agree that Cinder should have attacked him there. It really didn't make sense for her not to, other than the plot. In the fact that I still think that Pietro's going to die by sacrificing his life to rebuild Penny one final time. I think that's the only reason he's kept alive.
Oh, obviously Pietro needs to be swallowed by Monstro first. And Penny/Pinocchio has to go inside Monstro to save him.
Save him, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
He's
obviously,
he's gonna be there. He's gonna find Penny, and there's gonna be this white-haired kid that's gonna come up next to her. It's like an android with a heart.
Jeez.
Oh my god! you took it
Shut
too
up.
far.
Kingdom Hearts. So Penny's left wide open, trying to repair the tower, keep Pietro alive, and so Cinder latches onto her with her legs and starts to absorb the maiden power. So I have another issue with this, but not as much with Penny. Who remembers Amber?
I remember Amber, the previous maiden.
The previous fall maiden. We only saw her in the flashback when Cinder stole the initial maiden power. Amber was completely helpless while she was being latched, but Penny's still able to draw upon her power?
Because she's a robot. I honestly believe that I thought it was because she's an android. That she is not being brought down by human pain or human whatever, that she's able to just bypass that.
I think
which
Zach's
breaks
right
the
there.
issue.
Okay.
What was that?
I was gonna say I think you're right because with a human, even a maiden, they are
You still have feeling.
Well, it's not just that, but there's also the fact that if her tentacle or not tentacles, her legs are somehow putting off some sort of thing that causes apathy, then it would make you helpless. But if it's a robot, it's not that apathy wouldn't work, so she would still be able to move. Maybe that has something to do with it. But again,
Okay.
we're getting to the point. We're getting to the fact that if things were explained a little bit better,
then that also would make no sense for her to be hurt earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
So it's just the whole thing of like that was my biggest issue with this entire episode.
It's just
is
so
make a
inconsistent.
fucking choice.
Yeah.
It was
I'll bet Ironwood wouldn't have succumbed to that iron will.
True. You bring up a great point.
You can stop him.
So Penny's able to free herself from Cinder. The fight continues. Emerald now starts working with her to make a bunch of elusive clones to go and attack Penny. But Penny's eyes can see through the semblance, which I find interesting.
She's looking for heat.
Well,
signature.
Okay. I guess
that's what I took it as.
it's-
She was looking for a human body.
that makes sense. It's just weird when you apply those rules to magic.
I'm not
And it's not
disagreeing
explained,
with you.
but that is a valid explanation at least.
either that or she was able to keep up with the original.
No, she was scanning.
pretty clear. Yeah, she was scanning. I mean, it is potential she had an idea, but I don't know.
But at which point Penny sees through it and she just fucking eviscerates Cinder. She just demolishes
Yes.
her.
Yeah, like one
Get up,
hit.
Penny.
That was a crit.
And just like that, Cinder gets her first. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's another loss.
That's I was gonna say. Wait, how many L's now?
She hasn't won
Let's
since
count it.
Volume 3.
I kind of at this point I want her to win one.
Yeah.
Just I mean, she's the bad guy, but at this point I feel sorry for her. I just want her to win once.
As soon as she latched onto Penny and she was like drained the powers, I was like, oh my god, is she gonna win? Is this gonna be like a major upset? Nope.
Oh well.
Oh well.
And then in the end, Cinder's unconscious. Emerald saves her by threatening Amity and Pietro, saying, it's like, you might be able to take me down, Penny, but I'm gonna fucking kill Pietro if you do.
Oh, my react video at this exact point when Penny stands down, I'd literally go, "You're pulling a Haku! Just fucking kill her! Like, you're letting her live! This is a future enemy! Just fucking kill her!" Literally, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, ah!
That's because
And
Emerald's
I
gonna be
get it.
redeemed.
That's not Penny's character. I understand that. Like, she's made it pretty clear. She doesn't want to kill. She's there to protect, not kill. Right?
Well,
And that there's a fine line. But like,
well, I mean, it's like, all right, then you kill my dad, then I kill both of you.
well, and it got to the point when Emerald saw her stand down. Emerald's like, "Okay, I see it's happening. Bye." Yeah, heat signature right there.
I had to dig to find it because that's actually what I was looking
Okay.
at too. I was like,
It
yeah,
does
looks
actually
like
clarify heat.
cool illusions. You know.
That's still weird then, because the illusion I figure might be able to emulate things like that, but it's just okay. That's just the explanation behind it.
I guess before we shift to that other fight, though, I just want to point out like some of the dialogue, specifically Cinder, about how she left the ship, and like Salem specifically told her, "This is the last chance. Don't do it again." She
gets
leaves,
her ass kicked.
and on top of that, she's like, "I don't serve anybody."
I forgot
And I'm
about
like,
that, yeah.
"Ooh, girl, like you're messing up. You're done for. When you get back to the ship, it's over."
That was my favorite thing about editing the reacts before this, is I saw it's like, you just serve blah blah blah. I don't serve anybody, and all of us were, shut up, Cinder. What the fuck? Go fuck yourself, you bitch.
It's like I understand her. Like I get it. Just like looking at like at least what we assume is of her backstory, which I guess they'll eventually get into. Like yeah, she wants something for herself. She's been given like little bits, and now she thinks this is her power. I'm like, oh come on. Like
That's
this,
one of those moments, like in a recording, where Connor could put like all four of our faces up on the screen at once and just all of us be like, "What the fuck?" or "Shut up."
that was just like I wanted to point that out. I was like, all right, I'm looking forward to like either I guess this next episode or the one after that, just to see what happens.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see exactly how Salem beats the shit out of Cinder.
I
Maybe
wonder if
Cinder
she's
will win
gonna
that
kill
fight.
her, Oh snap! Maybe Cinder will die. Like maybe like someone. Maybe she'll pick like Neo and be like, all right. I guess you could be the next vessel. Like, I just need somebody right now, real quick.
Well, Neo hasn't lost a oh, wait. Let's get into that, shall we?
Yep, here we go.
All right.
I knew you were gonna have. I knew it.
So Maria versus Neo, right? Maria starts in a okay.
It's just Gundam. Gundam versus a really. That's all I said in the react. I'm like, all right, here's Gundam.
So Maria starts in a mech, and Neo rams the airship into her. It's just so fucking stupid, the start of this fight. Why was any of this necessary?
I liked it.
Hold on, though. No, that's not even the stupid part. The stupid part is the fucking screen that says forward and reverse.
Dude, I made an exact comment about this. I said, is that how ships are in this world? There's two buttons, forward and backwards? That's the legit thing I said.
When you put it like that, yeah, they should have a button right next to it that just says RAM.
But no, Travis, I'm glad you just said that because I mentioned that exact thing in my react. I was like, what?
What a silly thing.
And it very quickly proceeds to the mech being damaged, Neo hopping out of the airship, and she's like, Maria's asking, what do you want? And so she transforms into RWBY. That's what she wants. And then the two proceed to fight, all fisticuff weapon style. It's not fisticuff, you know what I'm saying? And Maria proceeds to handily bully the shit out of Neo. What the fuck?
Dude, it was awesome.
It was stupid. We have seen Neo not take a single fucking hit other than the fucking stupid Oscar punch that was completely stupid for its own reason in the last season. You remember the rest of that fight? It's like, oh, there are 4 people fighting me? Let me put my gasp on while I use my semblance and then proceed to completely throw your asses in your faces. And then this time, she makes one slow fucking attack like she's wielding, like she's fucking Cloud coming down with a fucking slice, and then she's just standing there from the weight of her impact for a second while Maria proceeds to just pummel her in the face. It's stupid. Even with Maria's semblance, it's like, oh, I'm an 80-year-old, 2-foot-tall woman, but I have good reflexes. Ooh!
She was just rolling 20s.
It was just so fucking stupid.
I'm right there with you because literally just before that, you see her needing help to get into the mech.
Yeah. She walks around with a cane.
I mean, what is she, fucking Yoda? Now she's using the Force.
Yeah.
All
And
of a sudden,
Zach, you commented about that on the React. You right here, Trav. She is very clearly the Yoda figure to RWBY.
That's exactly what I said. This is exact Yoda. She uses a cane, and all of a sudden, it's a goddamn powerful weapon. What does Yoda have? A cane. And then all of a sudden, he's got a powerful lightsaber.
It's just so fucking stupid that fight was anywhere near as close as it was. Neo should have handily beaten her. She also never used her semblance in this fight, aside from to say, oh, look, I'm looking for RWBY.
All right. And I get why you're upset. Cause I watched it and I was like, Counter's probably gonna be pissed.
It's so stupid. They did Neo fucking wrong.
They did. I gotta say I did enjoy the fight. I get it. Like I was like, all right, well, this probably wouldn't have or shouldn't have happened. But guiltily, like I gotta say, I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that fight a little bit. Maybe
I hated every second of it.
There's also you have to remember this lady has a lot of experience in fighting, and so does Neo.
When was the last time she fought?
I don't fucking know, but let me tell you. Also, the fact that Neo probably wasn't expecting this to be this difficult of a fight. She probably thought this is going to be stupid. I'm just going to put this lady down. Then all of a sudden, the lady starts dodging everything, and then she gets her sucker punch with her cane to her face, and literally like puts both feet in her face at one point. I mean, was it outrageous? A little. I mean, Neo's probably one of the more capable people.
I understand your issues with it, but I enjoyed the fight.
It was
I didn't
stupid. It was the most stupid thing I've seen in this entire volume.
That is not true, and
it is absolutely true. I think it makes more sense for Ironwood to start going down into Mantle and just executing civilians at random than it did for this fight to be as close as it was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna justify it. I know this shouldn't have happened, but strangely enough, I just enjoyed the fight. That's all I can say. I mean, it pretty much just ends with her getting zapped.
Yeah, it's like she apparently gets the best of Maria, like it should have been easily from the start. She goes to whip out her fucking stabby stab point of her umbrella. Guess what happened the last time she did that? She got fucking thrown away by RWBY. Oh, fucking umbrella's up. Woo.
It's not an umbrella. Someone made a comment about that.
Someone made a comment about that?
Yeah, it's something else. It's on YouTube. I'll pull it up.
YouTube?
So what's the...
It's not an umbrella, it's a parasol.
Yeah.
Shut up.
They're gonna...
Although, not funny.
You know what, Jeffrey Smith? I appreciate it. It is a parasol.
Oh, God. All right. Let's move on from that fucking bullshit.
What's the third fight?
No, we're just moving on to the next thing.
It was just...
Oh.
It was just the two fights.
All right.
Like a supporting character.
Cinder and team gets away. Penny and team are fine. All right. Tower's damaged by Cinder when she entered, and so Penny offers to help hold up Amity. Apparently, those are the strain risks. She's a magic robot, blah, 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 that whole fucking thing. That's where this happens. But in the end, Pietro and Penny have their real clash here about what Penny wants to do about living her life. Pietro wants to make sure she has a life to live, and then she has the line, it's like, you need to let me live right now then. This is my choice.
I like that part.
Yeah, I did too.
I liked it too. I actually did quite enjoy it, because it was her first time being like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm trying to save the world. Like, stop doing this. I liked it.
See.
So Penny then goes to lift up Amity. She's lifting it up. We see a little graph. Y'all see that graph, by the way, about like Amity has to be above this line?
Yeah.
Why?
What the hell?
What kind of a stupid graph is that? The bottom of the tower has to be up here. We're not going to talk about where the top of the tower needs to be, the thing sending out the signal.
If this was a video game situation, it'd be one of those things where you have to mash like square for like an hour, just trying to get it above, and then like
Yeah.
when you get tired, of course it drops down. You're like, damn it, and then you have finger cramps. Like that's what it was to me. It was just the only thing I could think of is if it was getting past the hard light barrier.
Well, for me, it's what Connor said. Why wouldn't the graph then be when the top of the tower reaches a certain point instead of the bottom
No,
of the tower?
no. You have to get everything above.
It's just so stupid.
They put the antenna at the very bottom.
Also,
Maybe that graph line represents the atmosphere. I don't fucking know.
It wouldn't be though.
it's still a bad graph. So they, she's lifting it up. She's succeeding. I feel like Amity should be higher than it is. When I imagined like we need to go to the heavens to make a satellite for this, I figured like the city would be tiny.
See, I thought it would be, when it was you got to get above the line. I figured that line was also above where Salem is. And Salem is pretty much on that exact level where they're trying to get above where she can go.
Well, they do look down and they do see the whale, so they are above it.
Oh, are they? I thought it was level. Okay, my bad.
It's misleading. It's confusing. It looks like it is, but they do have the shot looking down where you see the whale.
Okay.
They're pretty high up. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But it just feels like it should be higher. But maybe it was just like the background. Maybe they didn't know how to represent a bad atmosphere well enough. Or a bad atmosphere, a lacking atmosphere.
Yeah, you're expecting. So you were assuming like since it's global, it would be satellite communications.
Yeah, I
So
expected it
be
would
like
be
a much higher
somewhere near
altitude.
there.
Yeah. I guess I don't know because technically, like for global communications like that, you would have to be outside of the atmosphere, and maybe that's what that was supposed to represent. What you're saying, but
And maybe that's
But they
why
were
the
definitely
bottom
not
part
out of the
has a meter.
atmosphere then.
yeah, well they
they didn't
couldn't
do
have
it,
been because even though like I don't know how science works in this universe or physics. There are openings in the ship, and the pressure probably, like Travis was saying, would have killed them by this point. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say any more because I don't know how that works in these universes.
So Ironwood has said, here's what we know about the science. Ironwood has said the atmospheric controls of of Atlas would protect them. I assume the same goes for Amity, considering they were upgrading it to be that point.
But that doesn't
And-
explain the fact there's a big hole in it where stuff could leak out. So it's
they would freeze to death. Yes.
And even then,
They're all androids.
you can't go too high up because dust stops working after a certain point. So I didn't expect it to be a full-on satellite. But they also refer to satellites in a previous episode.
Yes, and that's what I thought. I thought it would go into orbit and continually orbit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's just inconsistencies left and right with this whole bit.
The only thing I could add to that is just magic. Like that's the only like way, or like I guess dust isn't like fractions or semblance of magic, and that's all I'll say on that. That's what will make sense.
But all right. That's my saltiness aside. Let's get to the part of the episode that I really started enjoying. They get high enough to start transmitting their message. We see Bill again. Shout out to Bill.
Hey, I gave a shout out to Bill.
And we see the message. What's up?
Oh, I just said in my react. Oh, bye, Travis. I said, shout out to Bill. He's alive. He still has a job.
And we see their message is reaching across the whole world. We see some old faces.
Such a good message, though.
We see
such a good montage.
It had one very weak part. It had two very weak parts. It had three very weak parts.
No, it didn't.
So Ruby's message, she first starts off by saying Atlas is under attack and they need help. She doesn't show anything. She just says they're under attack. That's my first issue. They have a giant whale they could just show video of outside. They never did that. She continues on. She talks about Salem, the big, bad, hidden boss around the world. She's the one who's been pulling the strings for the entire time. As a regular viewer seeing this, what would you think about this?
Who's Salem?
What the fuck
No,
is
I-
wrong with this child?
That'd be my first question. Who's Salem?
There is
I don't know
no
nothing about no Salem.
proof of any of the threat that she shows. But she continues on talking about how, the headmasters, these are the ways that you can verify these threats. You refer to the headmasters. These are the people who trust us. They refer to Headmaster Theodore of Shade, which fucking throws away my thing. I think we talked previously about who the Headmaster of Shade would be and how I said it had to be a woman because the only person we haven't seen from the Wizard of Oz story was
They're not.
what's her name? The red-haired girl?
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Dorothy? She's redheaded?
In Wizard
I'm
of
sorry.
Oz?
And irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Maybe she's not redhead. Maybe I'm fucking thinking of the Wendy's girl with that visual. I don't know.
What?
Regardless,
What?
we talked about it previously where it needed to be her because that was the only thing that made sense. And I think I made a one-off line joke. It's either that or Toto. And I think it's fucking Toto now. I fucking hate it. Why can't we have a fucking woman headmaster? Why can't we have Dorothy?
We can still
Actually-
have Dorothy, but
You know who we did see in the montage?
We saw a number of people. Who?
Glinda.
Yep, we saw Glinda. Glinda's come back. Woo!
Dude, I was so excited. I was like, thank you, y'all. Like, if nothing else, thank y'all for bringing Glinda back. 'Cause I was worried about her for like 4 seasons.
We saw a bunch of those old faces. We saw Sun and Mercury again.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Jean's sister and their baby.
My favorite thing with Sun, though, was Michael just going, whoa. I loved it.
We saw the old dust shop owner. Don't know why
Dust
Glinda's in the dust shop right now talking to him. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, why did they even? I guess I don't know where they're at. So I don't.
They're in Vale.
And that's what I thought. Cause I was like, that's the same. Like, it looks like the same dust shop.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I won't assume yet.
But then Ruby goes into a whole little tangent of, you can trust these headmasters. You can do this. They will vouch for us. However, Ironwood can't be trusted.
And I loved it.
It's so,
Absolutely loved it.
so
was
stupid.
It
Literally.
was necessary.
Literally, Ironwood. So this is an overarching theme. Glinda, back in Volume 3, had a whole conversation with Ironwood about how he needs to start trusting people. This is the change he needs to do to become human, so that way he can understand what Ozpin is truly going through. And in Volume 7, we got that. He trusted Team RWBY. He trusted Winter and Penny. He trusted them all with the truth. He finally was getting Ozpin's message. And so RWBY stabs him in the back and says he's the bad guy who can't be trusted.
Well, he can't be. He's trying to kill people, his own citizens.
She's so fucking stupid.
He's literally trying to abandon the world. Why should they trust him?
Oh my god. I hate you. I'm not going over this again.
I don't. So my thing was, I didn't feel it was necessary for a broadcast that was meant to warn people about the bigger problem.
Yes.
Because if you add another problem like on the side of that kind of distracts people a little bit, because someone's gonna ask, well, what about this? That's gonna distract. Obviously, at some point, it's gonna distract them from the main problem, and now we're gonna be back in square one. So it's like I don't feel that was necessary for the broadcast. All right, your personal thoughts aside, but that's
yeah, I'll agree with that.
That's
It
my deal.
was so stupid to mention it there, and the fact that we saw Glinda right when it happens pissed me off so much more because it was like trying to complete his arc and how he like failed it or something, even though he succeeded it. He did exactly what was asked of him, and RWBY fucked it up.
You can't unify it to go against one problem if you're like, all right, but there's this other thing, but it doesn't matter. We still gotta like join together and tackle this one problem.
She can't be destroyed. She can't be beaten. Don't trust Ironwood.
Exactly. Like I was like, all right, well that kind of defeats. It doesn't defeat the purpose, but it's counterproductive to what your message is going for.
Yeah.
And I assume we'll see something at some point in time about that.
And while she's doing this, after we cut to the old faces, we do see Salem and Tyrion listening to the message. And what is Salem doing? Smiling. She is happy. Like, she anticipated this was going to happen. And she's like, yes, tell the world about how you can stop me. Let you all try. Let you all fail. God damn. But Tyrion's her good boy. Her good baby boy right below her. She's head patting him.
You know, wasn't it? I think it was Abraham Lincoln that once said, "A house divided can't stand." And maybe that's what she's betting on.
And they've talked about that in the past. Her whole plan is to divide people to turn them against each other. Yep. Oh, you can't trust Ironwood. He's the bad guy. Wait, go, Ruby, to realize you were on Team Salem.
Yeah, and I'll save my my stuff for later regarding Salem. I actually noticed something.
It's like her final line, finishing up the message. It's like, we can win by doing this together. Ironwood's whole fucking plan. His initial plan in Volume 7. I hate you, Ruby. I hate you.
She plagiarized
Ironwood was really good at when he was giving that speech. Let me fucking take that. I still enjoyed the whole message. As much as I'm breaking it down and criticizing it, I enjoyed it.
It was inspirational.
Yeah.
But I have mixed feelings. I didn't hate it, but I have mixed feelings about it.
And we continue on. I guess she's actually still speaking, but like they turn off the TV where they're listening to Ruby. But we go to Watts and Ironwood and the Aesops, and Watts finishes the hack. Penny starts to shut down, lose consciousness. What do you think is happening?
Bye-bye, Penny. I don't think she's dying. I think it's just a system reboot, like he was saying.
Nah, he put a controller chip on there, so like I guess he reverse engineered that, because like how she can control those swords. He basically like reversed the programming. It is what it looks like to me. I think Watts is actually going to signal her to shut down, but he can control Penny at this point.
I think so too.
I think Ironwood told him to be like, all right, give her an order to defend the relic, but he was like, all right, cool, but I'm gonna do this instead.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna try and get that relic using Penny.
I think he might use Penny to break himself out of jail.
Do you think he'll go back to Salem though?
I don't know. That's the big question. Probably.
Because if so, they're definitely going to use Penny to get the relic.
Yeah. And that she does have that line, I need the relic. I have to get the relic. But as she starts shutting down, her last words to Pietro, I love you. Oh.
Almost shed a tear.
And then she lights on fire like a falling comet. That should not happen when you're that high up. Or that low down, relatively. That's just back to the whole atmosphere.
I'm not going to say anything. I can't.
Yep, and so Ironwood gets pissed off. He throws his scroll at Watts, breaking it. Watts takes it stealthily. And so he's obviously about to work on his plan to get out of jail. Probably going to set, Robin and Crow loose as well. Yes, I destroyed the city, but you two, you're also going to get out so you can distract Ironwood because you're fucking idiots.
That whole thing was stupid. Why would Ironwood throw his phone at him?
Yeah.
And then forget that he did it?
Yeah, fucking stupid. Completely agree. Plot's got a plot.
I know, but still, it was like, you throw it, and then you don't see him grab it, first of all. Second of all, you don't remember that you threw it, clearly, because you didn't look for it afterwards. And no one else in the room saw you throw it and him pick it up either, and there was other people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know why? Why they didn't see it? Fucking everyone's so focused on Ironwood being pissed off, and then Harriet's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Harriet can't get past her ego and her attitude, and it makes her blind.
Yep. She's pissed off. Who else is pissed off and is blaming other people about their issues and being blinded to it? Crow! Looking forward to that. Looking forward to if those two are going to have a clash.
Do you think Robin, Crow, and Watts are going to team up?
Fucking maybe. I don't think they're going to team up. If they do, that they kill another person because of that, I'm going to be so. Oh my god. Oh god, I'm going to hate Crow if that happens. I don't think they're going to team up though. I think Watts is going to use them though. Winter's now the new leader of the Aesops as well.
Which that did surprise me, actually.
Mm-hmm. They've been tasked with getting Penny's body so that way she can destroy Penny and claim the Maiden Power.
How do you think that'll go?
I don't think they're going to succeed.
This is a step ahead of them.
I mean, like, they're going to get to the body and then Penny's going to fly away and they're going to just look at it and then, like, you're going to see, like, the gears turning in Marrow's head. He's like, I could have used my semblance there.
RIP. I'm
You
trying to
can
go
only use it once a month.
GG. That's his drawback.
And so while we're on the Ironwood and Aesop's bit as well, there's something I forgot to bring up earlier that I just remembered. When they set off the dust explosion at the start of the episode, Ironwood's aware of it, and he has the line that is very much like, okay, this is exactly how I expected this would go. This is according to plan.
Yeah, it's like everyone was expecting this to happen.
Mm. Which, it makes me think, that means, for that to be the case, that means either he wanted to get global communications up and running, or he's got something else planned. So maybe he does still partially have his own initial desire. Who knows? And then the very final thing we see in the episode, we cut back to Team Yurj.
Oh man, Ruby had a pivotal moment that she missed.
That she missed.
Yeah, she had the opportunity when the broadcast was going, being like, oh, she's doing it. She's actually doing it.
Say that about her own pre-recorded broadcast.
I wish she had done that.
Oh god,
That just popped into my head.
GG.
That's good. That's very good. But we see Team Yurj again, and they're going towards the ice that was cracking earlier.
Team Yurj. I hate that.
And they discover a river of Grim.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was a hell of an ending.
I was like, man, Connor, right there. There's your shit. That's you need to use that shit in the D&D.
Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody's gonna fall. This is from the pool of Grim. Somebody's gonna fall in there, and it's probably
think
Ruby.
falls
Like
in?
it's probably Ruby, just like in the intro. It's like that typical anime spoiler in the intro.
Clearly, it's going to be Penny.
She
falling from the
falls
sky.
in. She falls in, uses her silver eyes. She becomes Salem. That's how you kill her. There always has to be a Salem.
It's going to be actually one of those little kids that Jean helped in the previous season. He's going to be like, what's this? He's going to like stick his hand in.
Well, anything else before we get to final votes?
Yes. All right. So check it out. All right. So the why I think that Salem is trying to get the Staff of Creation, and the reason why she's so confident that she can still use the lamp is because I think she's going to use the Staff of Creation to create another question, or do something like time manipulation to create more questions.
Can you do that though?
The honest answer
theory,
is we don't know.
In theory, if you can create anything, so we don't know. But my theory is, if you can create anything, can you technically create another question? Can you go to the past or create something to send you to the past, or ask future questions in the future?
So
What if you're all wrong and she just uses it to create her family again?
That'd be interesting. I don't think that's what's going to happen, Mike. Because and I don't have any proof behind this, but they've seemed very against doing anything with time manipulation so far.
All right.
And I just feel like that's a staple for stuff like this, and we would have seen it earlier if it was possible. Like, why would why would Ozpin not have done something with it already?
Yeah, that is true enough. But I still think that she would try and create a question to ask the lamp.
And that one, maybe, but she still has a question available.
Yeah, but I don't know if she knows. So I guess she
And
wouldn't know that.
Then the question is, do the relics work on each other like that? Does magic stop magic or not?
Yes.
So who
My
knows?
only
Maybe.
supporting theory is the intro where like they're like swirling together. That
That could be.
Nah, but that's all I get. I was just like thinking about that at random.
I don't know what she'd do with the Staff of Creation if she got it, other than just like zap dead. I think it's time we get into ratings. Trev, you want to go?
There was some stupid parts. There was some great parts. I like the plot movement. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay. Mike.
I'm gonna give this bad boy a 9 out of 10.
Zach.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I am giving this a rare 10 out of 10.
Nice.
So we got an 8, a 9, and a 10. What's yours, Connor?
I want to give it a 4.
What's 4 divided by 4? That's an average of 7 3/4. 7.75 rating.
Nice.
Thanks,
Write
Connor.
it down.
Yeah. Oh man. Best boy, best girl, Trev.
Well, best girl is gonna have to be Penny.
Okay.
And best boy, we'll go ahead and give that one to Watts. I mean, that was there wasn't a whole lot of best boy or a lot of guys in this episode anyway. But Watts, he just took over Penny pretty much, shut her down. That's a lot.
Okay. Mike.
To the Pietro Penny combo for best boy and best girl.
Zach.
I am giving best boy to Watts. I'm giving best girl to Neo. She really knew how to fly that ship forward and reverse. That's spot on. I don't ever want Connor to make us roll a fucking pilot check ever when flying those ships.
That's just a 1d2. Can you click this button? Did you click the wrong one? Yes or no? Easy.
Nah, but Penny's legit one. As much as I don't want it to be Penny, she deserves it.
Easy.
You know what?
Bad-
No, I'm giving it
bad
to Ruby.
Girl.
That message was
Nope.
on point.
Nope, too late. You already solidified your best girl as Penny.
Nope.
I'm gonna go
It doesn't matter
Pietro
to me.
for my best boy as well. I liked Watts in this episode, but Pietro, he held true to his values. He's the whole "you're my daughter" kind of guy, and I respect that. As for best girl, fuck, I still don't know. I hated
Just give it to
just
Penny.
everyone.
Who are you gonna give it to? You gonna give it to Cinder? Neo?
I'm gonna
Rhea?
give it
Who
to
you gonna give it to?
Emerald.
You gonna give it to Emerald
fair.
of all people?
You know what?
Stop
That
the
is
fight.
actually a very valid one.
Emerald's
She stopped the fight.
She stopped the fight. She's trying to save Cinder. The whole thing she's been trying to do is fuck Cinder since the very beginning. She's in love with her. I think it made perfect sense for her character, and nothing didn't track for her this episode. Aside from the fact that she was a little useless.
He helped a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, God, you got a fucking maiden, 2 maidens fighting each other. You expect her to be the most useful one there? All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Well, thank you for watching. Remember to hit that like button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to see what the rest of our channel has to offer, be sure to subscribe. Looking for any ways to support us? Well, we currently aren't monetizable through YouTube. We do have a Patreon and even a merch store, so be sure to check those out. All of the links to these things are right in the description down below. And last but not least, we'll see you next time.